Hey everyone, it is a beautiful summer day. I am just out and about running some errands, and I figured I would stop at one of my favorite places here in the Tigard area, the one and only remaining Value Village, or as many of you know it as Savers. And I figured I would go in and see what we find today. Yesterday we were on a little adventure running errands, me and my husband, and I happened to just convince him to stop at the Value Village, also known as Savers, right in the area because I just had this gut feeling we should stop, and I'm really glad I was right. I found this amazing large wicker trunk with the brass detailing, which you just don't find very often anymore. All right, so we got one really good piece. It could be used as a side table with a little piece of glass on it. It could be used as an end table in your living room or storage for blankets by a fireplace. There's just a lot of different uses for those kinds of things. And if you find a pair, I've seen people even put them under their entry tables as, again, little storage for under the table. And it's just a really fun decorative way to layer in those amazing elements. And one of the things I've always been looking for or on the lookout for, as you may have seen in my Washington videos, are some lotus candle holders, which I mentioned. And I happened to find that one with the 3 arms. I'm pretty particular and I'll leave treasures behind often if it's just not exactly what I'm looking for. I left the other ones behind, but these are Reed & Barton with the original maker's mark on the bottom. They're pretty hefty. I love the oxidation, how it's kind of got that ombre style and it's a little bit shiny. You can see the rainbow kind of oxidation. And what was so cool is I found them together like this, stacked together, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's like this layered holder, but really it's 2 pieces. So you could have them side by side. Again, you could put flowers in here. You could hold keys in here. I tend to like putting larger flat candles or pillar candles inside and then putting them by the bathtub or just in other little areas to kind of light it up. I've even used them on my patio just for a little ambient like light and to add some texture and some vibrancy. I just love the style of these, so I was really excited that I held out. These will probably be a part of my personal collection. Still determining whether or not I'd want to polish them, but I again really love that kind of like ombre look that they have. And together it's like got that dark patina. It's just really cool. So we'll see how that goes. But again, very good score for $6.99 each. Was worth the wait, and I'm excited to decorate with these. The other find, and normally I try to be good about not getting too many candle holders, but I couldn't resist this awesome 4 candle holder piece. These pieces, they unscrew for easy cleaning. So you can see the hardware on it comes apart, so you can get the wax out. You don't have to like clean around it. It can come right out, which is great. So you could heat this up and melt the wax out or whatever. And it's in such good condition. It really doesn't look like it was used much. Probably takes a standard tapered candle if I had to guess, but I just really loved this. And as we get closer, even just for any holidays or gatherings, I've seen some really beautiful configurations with styling these with like peonies and spring florals and having the shorter tapered candles. And it just is this beautiful centerpiece. I could see it in a wedding, you know, if you had multiple of them. For the holidays, you could put holly, greenery, all this sort of, you know, garlands around it. So there's a lot of uses, I feel like, for these kinds of candlestick holders, especially with all this space inside. This one also has a lot of good weight to it. If it's newer, it tends to be lighter is what I found. It's not as well made, and it may be brass flashed where it's just maybe painted or flashed in a brass kind of finish, whereas this is probably more of an authentic, thicker brass layering on top of some solid metals, just to keep it from denting and keep it in this amazing shape that it is. You can get very creative with these. I'm also a huge sucker for boxes. It's kind of hard for me to not want boxes because they're just amazing for everyday storage. I use a lot of really fun odd and end boxes in my office, at the warehouse, pretty much everywhere in my everyday life. And this box was really cool. Normally I don't go for such simplistic boxes, but I did do a little bit of woodworking back in college, just a couple classes, but it was enough to make me really appreciate craftsmanship and solid wood pieces. This is probably made out of a solid oak because it's pretty dense and pretty heavy, but I loved how it's like crafted together with those edges. I love that it has kind of this butcher block kind of top with the wood, different grain detailing. It's actually really heavy. It came with some little note cards inside that said, "Today I am grateful for," which is really sweet. The inside is like all solid. Some like edging there that connects it together. And I just liked it because it's very minimalist. It reminds me a lot of the 80s and 90s, even the 70s, but this was just kind of that minimalist vibe that you would get. And it was like not super expensive, $5.99. Sometimes Savers has pretty expensive pricing on certain things. But this one I just really liked and I decided it would be great. It's like a little butcher block style box. It's a pretty way to just store things, even in the kitchen. I could put like a garlic clove or something in there, but you can put little keys, knickknacks, jewelry, other things like that to store and make look pretty. The last thing that I found that's often available at these amazing places for thrifting are these bags of yarn that are not used. I'll have to keep a lookout for some good yarn at some estate sales. But Andy, my good friend at All Put Together, her and I took this incredible craft class by Wild Craft Studio here in Portland to learn how to do punch needle art. And so I ordered a whole set of punch needles, but haven't gotten the yarn yet. So I was like, okay, I love these colors. One of them's got some really interesting like colors intertwined. I might as well get some just to start and practice. And so I got this little grouping of yarn. So that'll be a fun little crafting thing this summer as well. The main score of the day obviously was that incredible wicker basket style trunk with the brass detailing. That one will be listed on our Etsy site along with some of the candlestick holders, but I may keep the lotus candle holders for myself. We will see. For more haul adventures, feel free to subscribe and follow along. We love taking you on the journey with us and introducing you to new fabulous vintage finds, as well as ways to repurpose vintage items or even things you find on the side of the road, let's be honest. So do stay tuned and feel free to follow along. We always appreciate you. Thank you so much.